Hello, welcome back. I have returned from the dead after 2 months. I'm really sorry for this sudden silence. I don't know what happened. No, I do know what happened. Inktober happened. And also my Etsy shop happened. So actually quite a lot. But still, I could have made a video. Anyways, now I'm here and I'm gonna do a little draw with me / Q&A. I thought it's a good time now because the last time I did something with Procreate was a long time ago, and my style has changed drastically, and also my Procreate drawing process has changed drastically, and also so many people have joined, so I thought a Q&A would be fun. I decided to make a more drawing process themed Q&A since most questions were about that. Anyways, yes, let's get right into it. So I use an iPad Air 3, and yes, I do use my pinky to unlock my screen. I don't know, it's because my index fingerprints just keep changing. I don't know why, but the pinky always works, so I use my pinky. But I open a A4 sized canvas, I believe, just because I learned the hard way that if I want to print something, like prints for example, I need to draw in the size that I want to print, or even bigger, because otherwise the resolution is not going to be great and the quality is not going to be great. So I found this picture on Pinterest. I'm gonna show it here. If you know the photographer, please tell me and let me know so I can credit them properly. Okay, let's get on with some questions. First question. What are you currently inspired by? Well, many things, I'd say. On one hand, like nature and people, other artists that inspire me, or color palettes, even though I only use black and white. But I feel one main core thing that inspires me a lot these days is emotion. Yeah, I know that sounds very vague, but I get inspired by how I feel currently, and or not just even myself, but also how other people feel. If I talked to a person recently and they felt sad or they felt happy, or I don't know, they expressed something to me, I feel like I like to add that in my art, and it gives it a very somewhat personal touch, and make me feel really connected to my art. So I feel that's like my main inspiration is definitely emotion. What is your favorite subject to draw? Love your work. Oh, thank you. My favorite subject, I feel there are also too many to just pick one. A few of them are probably lights. I especially discovered in Inktober, when I started drawing black and white more, how much I love to add lighting to a piece. I think it adds a lot of magic, and I don't know, it's just very satisfying to me. And besides that, I also love drawing like different characters, like monsters or magical creatures, I guess. And 1920s fashion, yes, probably one of my favorite things to draw ever. I love 1920s, 1930s fashion a lot. Their silhouettes and their patterns are just, I don't know, they mesmerize me. And weirdly, beards I discovered in this drawing that you're seeing now. Because I don't know, there's something really satisfying about drawing beards, especially like full beards. I never thought I would say that, but I am. Okay, just I'm looking at what I'm doing right now, and just to explain what is going on. I really love texture in my work, especially when I started drawing in black and white. You don't really have many colors to work with, you know? Duh. But yeah, so what I do work with to make it more interesting and less flat is adding texture. So yes, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm starting off with the background. I don't always do this, but this time I started with the background and I just made it fully black and then went over it with thin white strokes to create the snow-like background. To some of you that may not make sense, like you'll say, Becky, why do you make a layer and then just cover it with another color? It doesn't make sense. I don't know, to me it makes sense. Oh, also I don't use Procreate brushes. I use a brush pack called the Retro Maxpack from Max. I don't know his last name right now, but I'm going to add his name here so you can check out his brushes for Procreate. They're really amazing, and especially if you want to create a more traditional feel to your digital work, they're perfect. And I haven't tried all of the brushes because there's so many, but the ones that I use right now, I absolutely love them and they're just perfection. So definitely check out his work and his packs. Do you listen to music while you draw? Sometimes, not all the time, to be honest. I used to do all the time, but at some point I felt that it was really like distracting to me. I don't know. I use it mainly if I'm very like tense or very stressed, or if I'm drawing, for example, a very creepy drawing. I listen to music that brings me in the atmosphere of that, you know? But most of the times I don't, because then I feel more focused. But yeah, it took me quite a long time to realize that, but now I know. Do you have a favorite color palette? Well, if you ask me that now, looking at my current art style, it'll probably just be a different, like, I don't know, different shades of blacks and whites and grays. But that is not very, I don't know, interesting. But I do, obviously, I love colors as well. Yeah, so I just put some colors I like here. Admire your style jumps. How have you been feeling about them during your process? That is a really interesting question. And then also I talk a lot about it actually on my Instagram, because it's something that I've dealt with a lot and I'm still dealing with, and I feel so many people kind of struggle, especially if you have a social media presence. Style jumps can be very scary. Yeah, definitely I was horrified. Especially when I started drawing black and white. I don't know, I really love drawing black and white, I realized. I never thought I would, considering how much I use colors in my work back then. So I was like, I don't know, I was terrified of the idea of just changing drastically. But the thing is, if you just stick to the things that you knew before, or if you don't want to step out of your comfort zone, or are just, stuck with the thought of what if everybody leaves me on social media, it's not worth it to let go of this opportunity, because when a style change comes, I feel it comes for a reason, especially if you're stuck with your art, if you don't feel connected to your art, then a style change comes to freshen up, I guess, your creativity flow, and you learn different things from different art styles. I learned so much from my crazy color blocking phase, which was really fun and all, and I still love that art style. I follow many artists who have this really super intense coloring, but for me personally, I didn't feel connected to that art style anymore, and I don't know, I just had this constant itch to do something else and to learn something new. So when black and white came around the corner, I instantly kind of fell in love and wanted to try more. So then it just was up to me, to share that or not, because it's difficult to share a drastic style change if you have a certain social media presence, because people do leave. You can't avoid that with a style change, especially being super extreme like this. But it is not the end of the world, because people have tastes, and that is fine. If they see you changing drastically and it just doesn't fit to their, I guess, tastes, then that's okay. Then they just unfollow you and look for someone else, and that is not a huge problem, because then after, there are still people that will find you for your current art style, or people that just follow you throughout all your art styles. Shout out to all of the ones who've been there from the beginning, because you've seen quite some crazy art style changes. But anyways, just to keep it short, it is difficult, but you need to kind of be okay with the thought of people leaving, and that not being, not defining that this art style is worse than other art style. It's not. No art style is better than the other, and you can learn something from every art style. There's just some tips for the ones who are going through art style, through a style change. What is your creative process and how do you come up with such lovely characters? Many loves. Woo, many loves back. And how do I come up with my characters? That is a good question. Sometimes I don't even know myself. But yes, usually I sketch a lot. I feel sketching is very important to kind of warm up your creative juices. But just sketch here and there really helps you kind of get into it and find your ideas. When it comes to character design, throughout the years, and I'm talking way back even as a kid, when you watch a lot of movies or you play a lot of video games and look at a lot of art, you kind of collect different things that you like. Certain attributes of things that you see, you will kind of like note as, oh, I like this, I like that, I like this. And then you have like a collection of things in your head, and you kind of, I don't know, your brain kind of like pours them all then together into a cup, and you have an idea of a character. So not everything is like, 100% original. I think it's just, it comes from many things that you have collected throughout the years, It's like, for example, if you dance, I'm not a dancer, but if you dance, you learn dancing through choreographies. You learn different kinds of choreographies, you need to memorize them, and so the more choreographies you learn, the more dance moves you know. So once you have many in your head, you can create your own dance through the dance moves that you have already learned through other choreographies. So basically, not all of these dance moves are 100% original, but you create something original through the things that you have collected in your mind or you have memorized, even unconsciously. Yeah, I think that's really important to remember when you design characters, or when you look at characters and you're like, ugh, I'm not gonna make such cool characters. It's not everything is like 100% original. It's really difficult just because too many things have been created, which is a nice thing, it's pretty cool. But I think people beat themselves up if they think, their design is not original. Obviously, you shouldn't copy one-to-one from an artist, but just know that, certain attributes that you take from other pieces in movies, game characters, it's something natural and something, that's how we expand. How do you curb your expectations as a creative? My idea versus my current skill. I feel most artists battle with that with their expectations, and I feel it's completely normal to have high expectations, or you make something and you're kind of disappointed in yourself. You can't fully avoid having expectations, I believe. It's just important to be aware that you're not always going to meet your expectations, and that you need to be fine with learning, you know? If you see things as more of a learning process, I feel drawing becomes less stressful, and you become less, not like you expect less, but you don't get beat up by your own expectations if you see them as a learning progress, you know? It's like, oh, okay, it didn't turn out the way I imagined, but it's fine, I learned something new. Otherwise, you get stuck in your expectations, and then you never draw, and then you never improve. So then you'll never be able to meet these expectations. You know what I mean? That sounds maybe a bit pessimistic, but it's how it works. So be patient with yourself, and just tell yourself that I'm learning and I'm growing, and that is okay and normal. You know, you grow towards these expectations, and at some point you'll be able to meet these expectations. So it's not like you'll never meet your expectations. You just need to practice and just keep going. I know many people say that, and most of you probably don't want to hear that. It's like, yeah, you just need to practice. But I'm sorry to break it to you, but that's basically how it works. That's how you get better, is practice. Okay, so these are the questions I got to answer. I'm sorry I didn't get to answer all of them. There are also quite many about business, which maybe are better in another video. But anyways, I want to thank you all for asking the questions and for being here. That may sound super cheesy, but I love you all so much. You really help me and motivate me a lot on my journey. So I just want to express my gratitude to you all. And yeah, I hope you could take away something from this video or the questions. I like doing things like this because I feel people resonate with them, or they can also learn something from other people, from other people's experience. So I want to share this with you all. Thank you again, and hopefully see you soon, and not in 2 months. Okay, bye bye.